tuned in. This RealToonTV. This your boy Big Head the Dome, Dr. You heard me. Out the Mud Entertainment. Lock it in.
Hey, RealToon, it's some real money in the room.
The fans have been like begging for a Webbie and Boosie collab now. Like they want to see it again. Do you think that'll ever happen?
It's all about the bread. They need real bread now. You can't give them industry bread no more. You can't give them okay, when this happened and this happened and this happened and the percentage from this and you're gonna get this. See, you can't tell them that no more. So if you just drop the bag, yeah, it can happen.
What do you mean real bread? What's the difference between real bread and industry bread?
Like, say for instance, industry bread is when a rapper say he charged you $450,000 for a feature. Industry bread is when they say Sexy Red can't take 40 grand for a feature no more. That's industry bread. You went from couldn't sell a feature for $1,500 to can't sell one for $40,000 because now you're gonna forever be broke now because you done signed the contract.
Oh, so you're not allowed, so it's a bad thing is what you're saying. You're not allowed to get a feature for under this amount, meaning that your clientele or base of people who want to work with you couldn't even afford you because that's your standard price. Yeah, see, because the CEO makes sure you out your range, so you'll never get it done. But the labels get it done. So that's what make it industry money, because it's like, well, okay, for you to get a verse from Drake, it might cost you $500,000 for a random person. But say for instance, it's Future. Okay, you can get 5 verses from Drake, and we gonna sign off on all of them because we know that the industry money is just changing hands, but it's really ain't no money. It's really just free, and the money come from the back end, which goes to the companies. So the artists never see nothing. So it's like, well, okay, you can go do a verse if you want, but we ain't gonna clear it. So if you want a verse cleared, we want 50 grand, Sexy Red. And that's because the person who you dealing with, I don't know now, this, I'm just assuming. Throwing numbers.
Yeah, the person that you're dealing with is so greedy to where they know if you make this money, you can benefit it yourself. You can look out for people. You can take care of your family and all that. But they like, then if you do that, then you'll be the one. Nah, we just using you. And if you go for it, you go for it.
Right.
So what first thing we gonna say is you can't do no features or check with us or come through us to do the feature. And then you end up with a career with no features.
Yeah.
And you wonder why, and some artists be loyal like that to the record label. And you be like, well, I ain't doing no features. But if you do one, it's 40,000, it's 50,000. So you go do that feature if you want to, Sexy Red. And I'm just saying Sexy Red because it was something about her not taking 40 bands, and I know how this game go, and I felt bad for her when I saw that. Because if you can sell a verse for 40, you can sell one for 40. If you out there nationwide, you can sell 40 for 40. So just think at all the people you can help if you sell 40 verses for 40,000. You feel what I'm saying? Like that's your mama house, a few more people. So they stopping that.
So what actually happened with Sexy Red? I think I heard the same.
No, it was just saying Sexy Red no longer taking 40,000 a verse, or she turned down 40,000 to do a verse.
And she never said that was a problem for her.
Right.
But as an artist, you saying that is a problem for artists, period.
Right.
Wow.
Because
And you broke it down so simple.
right. Because some of them, like I say, some of them can do it and get away with it. But see, like say with the picture with her and Drake.
Right.
That's her whole career right there. You do that one song with Drake, that's your whole career. Because the person that's over you co-signed that picture with Drake, which gonna get you that verse, which costs $500,000. So when you look at, okay, well, where my $1 million you promised me? Well, we had to pay Drake $500,000, and we had to pay this rapper $200,000, and we had to pay this much, knowing they ain't paying shit. They just signed it off because they connected. The cost, right? Yeah, but you know, that keeps the rapper broke though. You feel what I'm saying? So you thinking you got this hit record and just think, okay, who you hear all on their records? Nicki Minaj, Cardi B. People you got to pay $250,000, $500,000, whatever, for these features. So you thinking that you benefiting off it, that it's helping your career, which it may do, but that money that you thought you was gonna get, they said they gave it to them. They had to pay them. And some of them you really got to pay. And some of them you don't. Some of them you can get by. You know, like Yo Gotti, all he got to do is call Jay-Z. See, Jay-Z probably can get any of them clear except Drake and Nicki because they with Baby. But other than that, yeah, and he can't get. See, now YoungBoy do what he want to do when it comes to him doing features. See, he one of the ones that's hot enough to can do that and get away with it. Because he make that money back up, or, you know, it's just a lot of money involved with him anyway. But like some of them just, I won't never do it. Won't do it. And you be like, damn, bro, like, I'm sitting here struggling and nigga might just, man, bro, I need, give me a verse, a Webbie verse. And I'm like, I ain't even finna hit him up. I ain't even finna waste my time. He ain't gonna do it. Now you hit me up talking about Boosie. Shit, they call me badass. He on there.
Right.
Shit, let me get it. But, you know, like I say, some, you know, because it's something to honor, you know, because it's there, but I don't know, but for the new people and how they playing it now, man, you don't want no feature from nobody. Yeah. Get you a hat. Get something off the internet. I seen Yo Gotti give a feature away. Cause he get it. He understand. Right. You know, like that we know that that's just air from our body, bro. Like a few breaths. List something we write down. That's it. At the beginning of the day, the end of the day, it's all about who you is to what it's worth. Cause I'm like, man, I sell a nigga a verse for 4,000 easy. 2 of them. And somebody like Sexy Red just come along and turn down 40? Nah, man. I'm sorry, my girl. You done fell for the banana in the tailpipe. And then it's crazy because they come so fast, bro. Like these rappers coming and going so fast, they don't even understand. They don't even get a chance to get rich. And they don't own none of their music. So they be done with. They gonna be broke and their music gonna still be playing. At least the other rappers, they just, music stopped playing and, you know, then they went broke. They gonna still be hot and be broke. Be like, damn, bro, that's crazy. It's all about the machines, who they want. So I'm like, I'm honored to just still be involved, you know? Right. Shit.
I don't want to like repeat the question, but do you think that's why Boosie and Webbie haven't worked yet? Because I think Boosie said that they talked about it. You know what I'm saying? Like they willing to do it. And you think it's like a label situation preventing them from coming together now?
I just think like it's worth a lot to the internet. It's worth a lot to the fans. But those numbers don't match up to the people who put the money behind it. Right. It's like the internet water stuff down too much. So the best thing to do is own it and just try to pile it up on the internet and let it, just add up to something. Right. But other than that, it's just like people would love that, but you can't get it like that because it's too difficult to say it's not enough reward. Like when you look at it like, okay, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, I gotta do that just for a few streams. Nah. You don't even get the layout no more. You don't even get the red carpet treatment or nothing no more. You just gotta fight for some streams. Right. You feel what I'm saying? So who wanna do that?
Well, today on RealToonTV, we have, can I say, Baton Rouge hip-hop pioneer? Would I be accurate?
You could say Baton Rouge legend, Baton Rouge representative, but I wouldn't say pioneer. Because they had pioneers that put the work in to, be the pioneers. Yeah, definitely.
Sure. And I respect that. I recently saw a documentary, Diamond in the Dirt, right, which highlighted some real history of Baton Rouge, and I didn't know it got that deep. You know what I mean?
Right.
I see all of the stars that have produced some of the top artists in the world, you can argue. And to come out of, it's so small. You know what I'm saying? You could drive right through and not even notice, but to come out of here, you can see that there's real history there. You know what I'm saying? And to see a legend like yourself pay homage to that history, definitely. You know what I'm saying? I respect that.
Yeah, because I probably showed up around the time that they started, the pioneers started, making their tracks, you know what I'm saying, starting their legacies, but I was like more caught up in the struggle. So it was a lot of surviving going on as I watch artists take off. I watch Nero take off. I watch CeeLo take off. I watch B-Lo take off. Like I watched a lot of people take off. I watched Young Bleed take off. Like I could have took off then or before then, but I guess it wasn't my time. You know what I'm saying? But, and a lot of those people I feel like were the pioneers because like we didn't know how big it was. We just thought it was something that they was playing in the club or in the game room. But really these people was taking it to another level. You know what I'm saying? And Diamond in the Dirt kind of made us recognize a lot of that because I didn't know a lot of those artists had deals with those songs or those albums, but they did. You know what I'm saying?
Right, Master P. And,
yeah, like,
you know what I'm saying?
So, shout out to them. And I did some an interview with the Diamond in the Dirt dude. I don't know, what happened to it, but maybe it'll be on part 2 or part 3 or something. But he definitely came and hollered at me, and we chopped it up.
I was wondering that, you seem to me like one of the speakers for this city. Right. You know what I mean? When I look on the internet now and I'm looking for, content, you gotta acknowledge Big Head.
Yeah, that's why I said I definitely represent Baton Rouge. I mean, even though I'm from Detroit, but I definitely represent Baton Rouge because, like, I represented Baton Rouge before I represented, anything because I was in the streets before the music. So I was representing Southside Baton Rouge in the streets and in jail before the music even came up. So by the time the music came up, they already knew who I was and where I was from. It was just, let's get it.
Well, let's get into all of that. Why don't we? So,
let's do
it. Where did you actually grow up?
Well, I grew up in Southside BatonRouge. Like, okay. I came from Detroit at the age of 9. We caught the Greyhound bus, and we was hoping for a better life. But we ended up landing here. We was homeless, you know what I'm saying? So we was scrambling, but we was in Southside Baton Rouge. And, you know, due to the fact of the relatives we found out we had and stuff like that, they took us in and, you know, helped us form ourselves, and it was in the South. So about time people realized who I was, they thought I was from the South, you know, because I was so young, but I was kind of like different, you know. I talked it a little different. I was a little faster, you know. So I was like the leader of the wrong crowd when I showed up, you know what I'm saying?
You
I was
showed
struggling.
up already.
Yeah, I was already prepped when I showed up. I was ahead, like I was like 9, but I was hanging with like 13, 14-year-olds. By the time I was 11, I was hanging with adults. You know, I had grown girlfriends and stuff like that at about 11 because I was struggling. So I was really doing whatever it took, you know? Like, it wasn't nothing for me to go spend a night at a woman's house because I didn't really have no home to go to. So, you know, the streets just kind of like took me in, you know what I'm saying?
What age would you say you jumped off the porch?
Well, being from Detroit and connected with the Young Boys Incorporated and the Untouchables and people like that, you don't jump off the porch. It come to you. Like my house was a crack house at 6 years old. So I knew how to sell crack at 6 years old. I was selling crack by 7 years old because it come to you. We didn't have to go to the corner. They came knocked on the side window because like if your family was struggling, you had to be a part of the wave of selling drugs for the gangs or whoever was behind. I was too young to know who was actually behind it. Come to find out it was people like Untouchables, Young Boys Incorporated that you hear about now. But it was back then when my brothers, I got 3 older brothers that was actually that age to get involved in all that. And it wasn't just coming up. Like, they did come up. They did get the finer things, but it was also violence and dangerous. And, you know, my mom got caught up in it. So, you know, I had already knew about guns, drugs, women, all that by the age of 9 years old and knew about it well. So, indeed, when I came to Baton Rouge, I was just ready. So just think, I was homeless. So still no porch. It was the streets. Like at that point, it was really the streets. Because my mom went one way, my brothers went one way, my sister went one way, and I went one way at 9 years old. So the people that, you know, I adapted to then, that's what, you know, what made me. You know, my name, Big Head, it was Big Head Dude. That's where it came from. Those people who embraced me then.
Right. So that wasn't a rap name. That was your actual name.
Yeah, that was my actual nickname, Big Head Dude.
Yeah.
And then it went to Big Head.
And wasn't the Dome Doctor?
Nah, the Dome Doctor was my name I created for myself in jail. When I said, when I come out, I'm gonna be the Dome Doctor, because I knew that if they listened to me, I was gonna really surprise them. But they was just judging me from where I was from. And, you know, my struggle, so they was like, you know, it really ain't nothing to them, you know? So, but I'm saying to myself, if they actually hear me out, they're gonna say, yeah, this dude can rap.
Right.
You know, so it's more mental than anything. And that's why it evolves from back then to now, Dome Doctor, because it's more a mental thing than violence or sexual or whatever. Some people may want to take it and run with it, but nah, it's Dome Doctor. It's like you're mental. It's like I'm a mental therapist. You feel what I'm saying? So, you know, whatever the mood is, like I can make a song about anything, fast, slow, whatever, it don't matter, because I'm here to help someone mentally. You feel what I'm saying?
Right. So let's talk about that. How old were you when you first went to jail?
I was probably 7. And they had me in adult jail. And we got a bologna sandwich for breakfast, a bologna sandwich for lunch, and a bologna sandwich for dinner. I'll never forget, for about 3 days. Because the situation we was in. I don't know if my mom knew how to find her way across town, because she wasn't too familiar with Detroit because she was from Louisiana. So by us being born in Detroit, we was all kind of like lost. So she couldn't find the jail. So it took her 2 or 3 days to find it. So I was just, in there with adults. Me and my brother, he was about 11 or 9 or something. And it went like that. And it was real terrifying. That's how I can remember so well, because like day in and day out, people was coming in. There was killers and hurt and shot and screaming and yelling and, traumatized and all this. And this was a Detroit jail. So it was kind of crazy. And from then, the cycle continued. Jail became an option, because one thing I did remember about jail, that it fed me. And it had lights and water.
And a bed.
And it didn't have a bed, but it had somewhere to lay,
a cot.
So it wasn't as bad. See, jail ain't as bad to somebody that's struggling, trying to survive, to somebody that got a silver spoon. So I remember that. Okay, well, at least they feed you in jail. At least you can take a bath in jail. At least, at least you the same as everybody else. Everybody ain't teasing you and talking about you, Like, hey, so jail just, that's why I'm institutionalized now, because like jail was more comfortable than being poor. So it has some comfort to it. Even though they control you, you don't have no control over yourself. That's the uncomfortable part. Every other part, I can handle. Yeah, like I had to learn to handle it or chose to deal with it,
Right.
I choose jail before telling on somebody, still right now today.
Okay, so at what point do you get into rapping and start to take it serious?
Well, probably it was Mr. Magic who made me really take it serious. Rest in peace, Mr. Magic from New Orleans. He came to Baton Rouge one time, and unfortunately they locked him up. And he came on the line I was on, and it was some real guerrilla shit going on. And at first I thought he was finna try to deal with the guerrilla shit and not be Magic, but they didn't let him. They was like, that's magic, and he was finna fall in the trap because he was already in the wrong cell. So I approached him and I was like, bro, if you Magic, you need to let it be known, bro, because once these cells close at 10:30, you're gonna be in the wrong cell. And he was like, yeah, bro, yeah, I'm Magic, woo, 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 but I ain't tripping, I ain't worried about no nigga. I'm like, look, bro, just come on out this cell. And
what you mean the wrong cell? Like, what does that mean?
Like, see, like they like on some lines they got like 5 cells or 6 cells, and only 2 or 3 of them may have an empty bunk in it. So if you from the wrong part of town and you go in the wrong cell, like really, we on A Wing. So A Wing is a mixed line. It's like, okay, Fairfield, the Park, a few lines like that. Now the South is so overpopulated, we go on any line. All it takes is 2 or 3 or 4 Southside niggas to run the whole line. So just so happened we owe a couple over there on A Wing, me, Gangsta Reezy, Lee, couple more people, Scooby, and so when he came over there, he went in the cell where they had niggas from Fairfield. Now the niggas from Fairfield, they was down a little more harder, and they was a little younger and a little wilder and didn't care. So they was still on turning niggas out. Like, they wasn't gay or nothing, but they was just straight turning niggas out. Like, all the way to before the morning come, they done turned the nigga out. And now, if you don't know what turning a nigga out mean, that mean make you do some homosexual activity or tap out or something or give a nigga something you stole or commit or your honey buns. Like, you know, just say like, okay, I give. You know, like you own me. I do whatever you say. I wash your socks. I wash your drawers. You know, like that. You know, so, you know, that's the type of pressure you got put under in Baton Rouge if you wasn't, you know, strong. And keep in mind, he was from New Orleans, so they really wasn't gonna show him no type of gratitude. Now, if he would have came out saying that I'm Mr. Magic, it would have been a different story, you know what I'm saying? But you know, niggas was like, okay, he gonna play crazy and woo. So I'm like, nah. But you know, anyway, I got him in the cell with me. So when he got in the cell with me, you know, it became a music thing. You know, because I needed a little mentor, you know, at that point, because I was like in my early 20s. So I wanted to really go ahead and do it, but it was like everybody wanted to partner up or wanted me to rap with them or rap for them or, you know, something like that. So I was like, well, I can learn how to do it. So he was saying like, bro, you got to write songs. You can't just want to just battle rap. You can't just want to freestyle. You can't just, you know, not have hooks. So, you know, with that, I was like, well, okay, cool. And I wrote a few songs. And then when I wrote those songs, by the time I got out, he had to beat me out and got a little club called the Boom Boom Room. And I wanted to show him, you know, the progress. And just so happened, the DJ he had was playing my song. And like, I was so proud because our other partner, Tony, rest in peace, he said it was him. Like, and I was like, wow, like he don't even know that's me. He think I'm still the same dude from jail. Just don't know I done took what Magic said and went in the studio soon as I got out and just dropped a little hit song called Slutastic. And Tony was like, yeah, but that's my new song. And it was just, I felt so good because Magic chose Tony over me because Tony was more song ready and more, you know, had his edges, and I was just renegade rapping, but you know, it was just hitting and it was gangster, you know what I'm saying? But you know, Magic was the one who actually, you know, put me in a position to want to be a real rapper and take it to the next level. So shout out to Mr. Magic, rest in peace, Lil Mac. You heard me?
Shout out Mr. Magic. At some point, you start working with Trill Entertainment.
Right.
How long after you start working before you get with Trill?
Not long, because Donkey, I want to say Donkey came home, and when Donkey came home, he was more like I had knew him well enough for him to say, I'm gonna get your CD and I'm gonna give it to Boosie. So he took my CD and he gave it to Boosie. But at this point in time, Boosie was still with Loke. So it really wasn't, you know, much he can do, but he co-signed. He was like, yeah, he tight, you know what I'm saying? So from there, I just continued working, and I may had took another trip to jail, and then when I came home, then I got approached by, well, I got a call and it was Boosie, and he was telling me to come to the studio downtown. And when I came, he was telling me about he had what he was finna do. So once we talked, I was like, yeah, I'm all for it. And then Mel and Turk stepped in.
Okay, so I was gonna ask about that because I thought they were the ones over Trill.
They was.
It wasn't Boosie.
They was.
Okay.
But Boosie had, I guess he felt that as a way of saying, okay, this is something new that I'm finna do. So I'm gonna pull you in now. So it was like, this was like in the beginning stages of Trill.
Okay, so to my understanding, right? Boosie was originally with CeeLo, right?
Right.
CeeLo gets locked up,
right,
and Boosie and this producer move on, and they get with Trill. You know what I'm saying? And so,
right,
I guess Don't Get Out
And shout out Donk, by the way, Pastor
Right,
Donk. You know what I'm
right.
saying? Good,
Shout
good
out to
man. That's a
Donk.
good man right there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But don't get out, and you having a relationship prior with Donk. He's bringing you to Boosie, and Boosie like, I'm about to get with them, and you gonna be, you Trill, but you my camp type shit.
No, because his camp, like the label, the name ain't even had been said yet.
Okay.
Like it wasn't nothing about no name. It was just, okay, there go Boosie. Okay, boom, boom, boom. This what I'm finna do. Okay, introduce them. Boom, boom, boom. We run it. What's up? What's up? Boom, boom, boom. I'm Turk. Boom, boom, boom. Which I already knew of from the streets and from hearing about. Boom, boom, boom. This male. Now one of the male partners was one of my partners, a guy named Ron Green. So I had already knew about him too. So from that, I had, I was kind of like proud. I feel it was like a proud moment because I knew these guys were from the streets, but they was trying to do something else. And they were saying like, okay, cool, we gonna take our money and put it into you. And I was like, damn, that's all I need, So me and Boo did a few songs that night. We did Say Big Head Is Going Down in SSB, Say Boo that night. And we did another song called Superheroes, and we did another song that night. And I'm saying to myself like, okay, now, do I get some money right here, So I was kind of like anxious, I didn't know what to expect, but I just knew, we had to record, it was good, it was me and Boosie, like this was a good moment for me. But then when I pulled out, I wrecked my car, like I ran into a pole because I couldn't see it. And then it turned back into a bad idea. And I went the other way, and then I ended back up in jail. And then at this time, when I got out, Fat was old enough, so Fat came and said, my daddy looking for you. And come to find out, now at this point.
Now, for those who don't know, you're referring to Lil Fat.
Yeah, Lil Fat. That's my little homie.
Was the CEO
right,
of Trill.
Right. See, he was my little homie. Like, I knew his parents, his family, all them, like, because we came up in the same area. So when he came and told me, that made me more, that inspired me more. Now, keep in mind, I don't know at this point that this is the same dude that I talked to downtown with Boosie and Turk. I don't really know this is the same dude because he's saying his dad, Right. So I'm like, well, what your dad looking for me for? So when they pulled up, I'm like, oh, okay, all right, bet. Now it's all coming together. Now I'm feeling more comfortable now because this is his dad. So I'm like, yeah. So we do a little bit more work. That's when we work on that's when the song Girl Go Ahead came out, and we did that was on, I want to say, Ghetto Stories. And then by the time Ghetto Stories was coming out, we was working on that. A lot of people was acknowledging me from being with Trill, because I want to say For My Thugs, I want to say hadn't came out, or one of them CDs, and I was on it with Boosie, and it hadn't came out. So they knew I was with them, so they was just waiting, and then Girl Go Ahead was on the radio. So by then, I had to get in the game deep then, because I had fame with no money. Because I still hadn't got no money, so I got back in the game, and this time I got in heavy, landed back in jail. And I was with him this time, the whole time I was in jail. And Turk was sending me money orders and everything. Shout out to Turk. And when I came home, they was rolling.
It was already.
Yeah, it was time.
So you were actually part of the foundation of Trill.
Yeah,
as
definitely.
Far as the foundation,
Definitely.
like the opening day. You
Definitely.
there for the ribbon cutting, you know what I'm saying? But as soon as the ribbon gets cut, you taking a trip.
Wow.
Then you get back, it's getting serious, and you taking another trip.
Wow.
And you get out, and now you see it's serious.
And I was just, it was, girl, give me that.
At what point does Webbie come into play? Was he already here at the foundation, or? Was that like another acquisition?
Well, Webbie came, I want to say Webbie came in on the first time, after the first time I went to jail.
Okay.
Because we was anticipating on working with each other before we even worked with each other. Like he was like the lil bro. He might have been like 15, you know, or 16 or something like that, you know, and he was still, you know, wild and jumping gates, you know, getting, you know, drinking out the bottle, young nigga with the bandana with the bowl sagging, you know, he was that on that type of time. So, you know, once we hooked up, you know, he kind of sort of already knew that, you know, my skills, you know, he already knew I was a good rapper, and I was at the same time I was a street nigga, so he was like, okay, cool, let's do it. So he came in, I would say he came in before me when it comes to actually putting in work and putting out music. But when it comes to actually building, I want to say it was just, if it was somebody before Boosie and Q, I don't know. You know, I don't know.
Right. Well, however it is, you get out this time, and around that time, Girl Give Me That is out.
Right.
Now this is a charting record. This record right here, I feel like, I know I heard of Webbie at this time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it was going crazy in Texas and Houston. So, you know what I'm saying? I can only imagine, like, how big was that for you to come and see the situation has matured so much?
See, I don't know if those were the songs that got the nationwide deal, but I know those were the songs that was up first for the nationwide, was Bad Bitch and Give Me That. So what I did was, by them being on gangster music, I was able to bump gangster music in jail. So I was already in tune, but those wasn't the songs that I was listening to, but I had already heard them, you know. But when I got out, it was like, okay, get in this video. And it was Girl Give Me That. And so I'm like, okay, cool, woo, woo. But I'm so eager to wanting to do it. I'm so eager to wanting to get in. That's when like Webbie got up and I slid over in the video and all that. Like I'm doing all this on my own because I'm so eager to, you know, to successful to get started. I'm like, but I always felt like, okay, I deserve this. This was gonna happen anyway.
Right.
You know, like, but it definitely felt good. You know, and you know, like to say it was all his shine, he ain't mind sharing it with me. You know?
That's hard. That's hard. I was listening to I think Savage Life 2 on the way down here, and you and Webbie had some good chemistry in the booth.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it just seemed like y'all messed with each other. You know what I mean?
That's how it was.
Yeah.
That's how it was. Like one time I heard Boo say, man, don't nobody got a better chemistry than me and Webbie. And I almost questioned that, because I was going to say, man, me and Webbie got a good chemistry too, but me and Boo got a good chemistry. So I'm like,
you and Boo had a good chemistry too.
I'm saying, well, they may have a better chemistry than we have, but I just said, like, you know, if you look at the songs that I'm on and how everybody has flow, everybody has, you know, style, everybody is standing up, you know, so it's like it was always, I always felt like, you know, I brought the best out of them, you know, like they already knew what it was hitting for. It wasn't only about me being a thug or them having that perception of me. They always knew I was going to add something articulate in my flows, so, you know.
That dome doctor.
Yeah, the dome doctor, they knew it was coming, you know.
Right. How was it like working with Webbie and Boosie in the studio?
Man, it's like I'm gonna be the big brother either way the cut go. I'm gonna tell you about your verse, your part, your pause, your breathing wrong, you could have said this like this, or try this like this, either way. And I just hope they do the same with me. because I be wanting it. If I feel like it can sound better or this can go like this, that's what I'm gonna say. You know, and then when it's over and I hear it, and then I kind of turn into a fan a little bit, you know, but I'm a fan of my own self too. Like I'm my biggest fan. So, you know, and when I'm just listening at all us, I be a fan of all us and I be like, wow, you know, like we did that, especially when it's accepted and loved by other people. You know?
Right. Yeah, when I listen to you and I listen to Boosie, you know, like you have this authenticity about yourself, and like you said, you also articulate, but you kind of got this like this G flow too. You know what I mean? Like it's gangster. Boosie the same way, but with Webbie, it's like he's saying some real stuff, but it has like this industry kind of sound, if you know what I mean. Like it sounds different. Like I can't explain it. And I'm wondering why that is.
Because sometimes you have to say stuff then, and it may not actually been your story, but you get in a position and you have to say it. So you say it the best way you can say it. You say it the best way you know how. Like say for instance, my story comes from experience, from years of experience. His story came from, you know, a year of experience. You feel what I'm saying? You know, like he had to explain stuff to people the best way he could because he may not have experienced it because he was still young. You know, like Boo was experiencing stuff as he matured in the rap game. He didn't get an easy street when he came out because he came out as a part of the South, in the South. You feel me? Like he had to scratch from the time he was with Loke all the way until he got past that. He had to scratch. It wasn't easy. It ain't like people saying we're gonna move out the way, we're gonna make, you know, nice layout for you, because Loke didn't care about none of that. Loke wasn't looking for notoriety or, you know, like motion in this spot and this spot. He was doing him, and his impact held him down. You feel what I'm saying? But Boo was like, I'm moving around. I'm young, you know, like I'm active. So, you know, with that came what came with it. Like he had to hold the camp down by himself. You feel what I'm saying? Because like Max and I want to say Max and Bleed and Vaughn, and you know, they wasn't in the South. They wasn't from the South like that. You know what I'm saying? Like Boo was from the South, Loke was from the South. So you still got your South side situations to deal with outside of everything else. So he was dealing with that. So about time he made it to where everybody was listening, he had a bunch of stuff to say. You know, Bronson gave him a lot of stuff to say. Donkey gave him a lot of stuff to say. Cross the Track gave him a lot of stuff to say. They had projects across the track. So, you know, wherever projects at, everything at. So, right. You know, he got it firsthand on what to say, because that's what got him in it. Frog listening at what he was saying. You know, like, it was kind of amazing to hear this young nigga putting these words together like this and what he was saying about the bottom. And, you know, like, hey, if you represented the best, they got to put you on Front Street. Like, when it come to Uptown, the top, that's all me. You know, like, I built that. It wasn't no that before me. It was just the South. You know, they had the top and the bottom, but they didn't have no Uptown, or, you know, they didn't have no this or no this. It was just this. And they did it so good in the game room, like their hands looked like it was made to be like this. And
what is this? You doing
this the South side, foes. You feel what I'm saying? Like you might see Boosie do it, you might see CeeLo. Like Loke hand was on a CD like this.
You know. Yeah.
So by the time I got in it, if you listen to say Big Head is going down in SSB, say Boosie the same thing in SSB. When he say Big Head was up and I say for sure, Foes up, because they had been going down for so long, like they even had Four Down Entertainment. And we just had to ride that wave. We didn't have nothing. So I said, you know what? From here on out, it's gonna go Foes up. And then, you know, I had the whole supporting team, you know, and then they had BG and them talking about Uptown and this and that. And so, you know, they had a so big an impact on Baton Rouge. We just, okay, this Uptown Baton Rouge. Yeah, so then this came out. And now, this famous.
Right.
Yeah, wasn't none of that before me.
All right. Salute. I saw in the interview you did that you said you felt like Webbie out-rapped Boosie on 90% of his songs. Why'd you feel that way?
Well, I'm gonna say they said 80%, and
80%.
Somebody said that. Like, they threw the question out there, and just by me, you know, I just be wanting to sometimes give those people a perspective from somebody who has an opinion that should matter in that matter. So what I would say is that something like you just said, like you answered this question yourself already. Like the same reason why you say, well, why does Webbie don't, like you and Boosie have that sound, and Webbie had that sound, but it has a certain degree to the sound. Remember you said that a little
like
minute ago?
An industry.
Right. And see, that's what it was. That's what they wanted. So by that being what they wanted, it made it easier for him to out-rap everybody because he knew he was so good at it.
He was doing what they wanted.
And
he was younger.
And I got it. And I understood. I understood like that. Like when I fuck a bitch till she real tired. You know that I'm like, okay, cool. They like that. They like that. You know, I'm like, I'm right there. I'm like, yeah, they like that. They like that.
Right.
You know, Boosie, like he'll come on there and he just, that part might be the last part he say. He gonna say some straight gutter shit the whole way.
Right.
Webbie come on, I fuck a
sandwiches.
bitch till she real tired.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Just as hard. You feel what I'm saying? So, you know, yeah.
When you look at it today, though, interestingly enough, it's like Boosie's had the longer career. You know what I mean? Like he's still making music.
Right.
And from my perspective, when I saw, when, you know, as Trill was going on and I was coming up, I liked Webbie. You know, like you say, he had that sound. You know what I mean? But
and you would still like Webbie if the resources and that culture was still around him. You'll still like him because he'll still be able to do it.
right.
But you know, without that push, because keep in mind, Boosie was the initial
Face of Trill.
Yeah, he was the one who was carrying the weight from the beginning, you know? So it was like, well, we got to grow to who we can grow into off him. We don't got forever, you know? Like, he was already Boosie. He was Boosie from CeeLo. He was Boosie from doing his own thing. So he was already Boosie. So I felt like, well, okay, you know, this is opportunity for me to become who I want to become, you know, in this music game. You know what I'm saying? But it was all about Boosie, like, you know, but through the music and by Webbie being so prepared, you know, he gave them what they wanted more without him having to ask for it. You know, like just way Fox came in. He came in and just stormed in. He would have took over if the situation would have permitted. He would have took over because he came in, boom, 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 boom. ready. Mouse make sure he was ready.
Let's just stay there real quick because I'm trying to get an understanding. Because from my perspective, right, you got to think I'm not from here. You know, I'm from out of town, so I'm kind of on the outside looking in.
Right.
But when you think of a Fox, I'm talking hits back to back. You know what I'm saying? Hits back to back. Like
right.
Some of the bigger hits. You know what I mean? Radio hits. From Wipe Me Down. It goes.
See, Fox had 3 or 4 CDs worth of singles on one CD. Like that could have been singles for 2 or 3 or 4 albums on that one CD. That's why they really didn't get the proper play, because it was like his album was full of singles. Like that's how inclined it was. Like if people listen to it now, they'll realize that was the Street Gossip was a real nice project.
Right.
Now I don't know if Warner Brothers and Asylum did what they were supposed to do with it, but it was nice.
Fans have been like begging for a Webbie and Boosie collab now. Like they want to see it again. Do you think that'll ever happen?
It's all about the bread. They need real bread now. You can't give them industry bread no more. You can't give them okay, when this happened and this happened and this happened and the percentage from this and you're gonna get this. So you can't tell them that no more. So if you just drop the bag, yeah, it could happen.
What do you mean real bread? What's the difference between real bread and industry bread?
Like, say for instance, industry bread is when a rapper say he charged you $450,000 for a feature. Industry bread is when they say Sexy Red can't take 40 grand for a feature no more. That's industry bread. You went from couldn't sell a feature for $1,500 to can't sell one for $40,000 because you're gonna forever be broke now because you done signed the contract.
Oh, so you're not allowed. So it's a bad thing, is what you're saying. You're not allowed to get a feature for under this amount, meaning that your clientele or base of people who want to work with you couldn't even afford you because that's your standard price.
Yeah, see, because the CEO makes sure you out your range, so you'll never get it done. But the labels get it done. So that's what make it industry money, because it's like, well, okay, for you to get a verse from Drake, it might cost you $500,000 for a random person. But say for instance, it's Future. Okay, you can get 5 verses from Drake, and we gonna sign off on all of them because we know that the industry money is just changing hands, but it's really ain't no money. It's really just free, and the money come from the back end, which goes to the companies. So the artists never see nothing. So it's like, well, okay, you can go do a verse if you want, but we ain't gonna clear it. So if you want a verse cleared, we want 50 grand, Sexy Red. And that's because the person who you dealing with, I don't know now, this, I'm just assuming.
Throwing numbers.
Yeah, the person that you're dealing with is so greedy to where they know if you make this money, you can benefit it yourself. You can look out for people. You can take care of your family and all that. But they like, then if you do that, then you'll be the one. Nah, we just using you. And if you go for it, you go for it.
Right.
So what first thing we gonna say is you can't do no features, or check with us or come through us to do the feature. And then you end up with a career with no features.
Yeah.
And you wonder why, and some artists be loyal like that. to the record label. And you'd be like, well, I ain't doing no features. But if you do one, it's 40,000. It's 50,000. So you go do that feature if you want to, Sexy Red. And I'm just saying Sexy Red because it was something about her not taking 40 bands, and I know how this game go, and I felt bad for her when I saw that. Because if you can sell a verse for 40, you can sell one for 40. If you out there nationwide, you can sell 40 for 40. So just think at all the people you can help if you sell 40 verses for 40,000. You feel what I'm saying? Like that's your mama house and a few more people. So they stopping that.
So what actually happened with Sexy Red? I think I heard the same.
No, it was just saying Sexy Red no longer taking 40,000 a verse, or she turned down 40,000 to do a verse.
And she never said that was a problem for her.
Right.
But as an artist, you saying that is a problem for artists, period.
Right.
Wow.
Because
And you broke it down so simple.
Right. because some of them, like I say, some of them can do it and get away with it. But see, like say with the picture with her and Drake.
Right.
That's her whole career right there. You do that one song with Drake, that's your whole career. Because the person that's over you co-signed that picture with Drake, which gonna get you that verse, which costs $500,000. So when you look at, okay, well, where my $1 million you promised me? Well, we had to pay Drake $500,000, and we had to pay this rapper $200,000, and we had to pay this much, knowing they ain't paying him shit. They just signed it off because they connected. The cost, right? Yeah, but you know, that keeps the rapper broke though. You feel what I'm saying? So you thinking you got this hit record, and just think, okay, who you hear all on their records? Nicki Minaj, Cardi B. People you got to pay $250,000, $500,000, whatever, for these virtues, for these features. So you thinking that you benefiting off it, that it's helping your career, which it may do, but that money that you thought you was gonna get, they said they gave it to them. They had to pay them. And some of them you really got to pay. And some of them you don't. Some of them you can get by. You know, like Yo Gotti, all he got to do is call Jay-Z. See, Jay-Z probably can get any of them clear except Drake and Nicki, because they with Baby. But other than that, yeah, and he can't get. See, now Young Boy do what he want to do when it comes to him doing features. See, he one of the ones that's hot enough to can do that and get away with it, because he make that money back up, or you know, it's just a lot of money involved with him anyway. But like some of them just I won't never do it, won't do it, and you be like, damn, bro, like I'm sitting here struggling, and nigga might just, man, bro, I need give me a verse, a Webbie verse, and I'm like, I ain't even finna hit him up. I ain't even finna waste my time. He ain't gonna do it. Now you hit me up talking about Boosie. Shit, they call me badass. He on there.
Right.
Shit, let me get it. But, you know, like I say, some, you know, because it's something to honor, you know, because it's there, but I don't know, bro. Like, but for the new people and how they playing it now, man, you don't want no feature from nobody. Yeah. Get you a hat. Get something off the internet. I seen Yo Gotti give a feature away, cause he get it. He understand. Right. You know, like that. We know that that's just air from our body, bro. Like a few breaths. List something we write down. That's it. At the beginning of the day, the end of the day, it's all about who you is to what it's worth. Cause I'm like, man, I sell a nigga a verse for 4,000 easy. 2 of them. And somebody like Sexy Red just come along and turn down 40? Nah, man. I'm sorry, my girl. You done fell for the banana in the tailpipe. And then it's crazy because they come so fast, bro. Like these rappers coming and going so fast, they don't even understand. They don't even get a chance to get rich. And they don't own none of their music. So they be done with. They gonna be broke and their music gonna still be playing. At least the other rappers, they just, music stopped playing and, you know, then they went broke. They gonna still be hot and be broke. Be like, damn, bro, that's crazy. It's all about the machines, who they want. So I'm like, I'm honored to just still be involved, you know?
Right.
Shit.
I don't want to like repeat the question, but do you think that's why Boosie and Webbie haven't worked yet? Because I think Boosie said that they talked about it. You know what I'm saying? Like they willing to do it. And you think it's like a label situation preventing them from coming together now?
I just think like it's worth a lot to the internet. It's worth a lot to the fans. But those numbers don't match up to the people who put the money behind it. Right. It's like the internet water stuff down too much. So the best thing to do is own it and just try to pile it up on the internet and let it, you know, just add up to something. Right. But other than that, it's just like people would love that, but you can't get it like that because it's too difficult to say it's not enough reward. You know, like when you look at it like, okay, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, just for a few streams. Nah. You don't even get the layout no more. You don't even get the red carpet treatment or nothing no more. You just gotta fight for some streams. Right. You feel what I'm saying? So who wanna do that?
Before Boosie got locked up, he wasn't seeing eye to eye with Trill. Do you know why that is?
If anybody wasn't seeing eye to eye with anybody, I would say it had to have something to do with money. Because on the exterior, everybody was laughing and joking and smiling and happy and having a good time. Everybody was more jollier and happier together than me. So, you know, I was gone when whatever happened with anybody else. I was gone. They was like happy and everybody was happy when I was there. Like their relationship was fine when I was there.
Right. You kind of came in. You was always there at the right times.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Like I wanted to be there at the right times. I wanted to bring togetherness and, you know, have everybody on the same page. But it was just like I had to separate myself from my environment or my struggle and live like that. And then it was just like that. It was like, okay, you can live like this, but this faking. You can live in this house, you can live out of town, you can do this, you can do that, but we know you still ain't gonna have no money and shit. But so I'm like, nah, I'd rather go in the hood.
How did that relationship come about?
What relationship?
With Nussie.
Well, Nussie was one of the ones that was incorporated in me in the environment when I first came from Detroit, like in Big D. Nussie's family lived in Big D. And that's where half of my family lived, and that's where I lived, and that's where some of the people took me in lived.
What is Big D?
It's tore down now, but it was like a little small building that was owned by some mob people that was in Baton Rouge called the Vincent Brothers. And they had a little building and they had like 4 small apartments in the front and like 10, 11, 12 on the side. And it was like in the space of one house. But they had all these apartments, so it had a lot of like violence and drugs and shooting and killing and stabbing, but it was, it was really like the trenches. Like when people say the trenches, Big D was the trenches. Because the projects was around the corner and they ain't had shit on Big D. So Big D was the trenches. So in the process of the trenches, Nussie had people lived in the trenches. So he was in the trenches too. And we came up. Like his cousin Michael Wayne was like his close cousin, and Michael Wayne was one of my close friends. So is one of my close friends. So, Nussie was like around us coming up. Like all these people knew each other. Like this is street shit here. This is before the music at this point. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, I've had a relationship with Nussie before the music, like from 8, 9 years old. Well, 9, 10 years old.
Right. So, Nussie mentioned, I went back and watched some of his older interviews, that his issue with Boosie originally was he felt like he wasn't letting people in the game when he got in the game. But from your story, what you tell me is like he brought you in as he was getting in. Did you feel the same way as far as, or do you feel rather that Boosie could have done more to help other Baton Rouge artists?
I feel like Boosie wasn't put in a position to be that type of person. He was put in the position by people like that. Like everybody ain't a helper. You feel what I'm saying? Some people are motivators, innovators, you know what I'm saying? Role models, leaders, but they're not helpers. You know what I'm saying? They if they can't motivate you, if they can't give you a spark, you know what I'm saying? They, like everybody ain't meant to hold hands. Some people is so star, like if you look at it, like Boosie like helped the whole culture. Not only, I just want to say he helped enough people to help other people. And he helped more people than you think, because in some form he helped Nussie, because he was the target for Nussie's campaign, which became a successful campaign. And when people become successful, they learn to appreciate each other. So that was just an unfortunate situation where people just didn't become successful and couldn't just laugh about it down the line. But that's how they do it in New York and all those other big cities. They just laugh about it down the line and say, well, we made it, like 50 Cent and Ja Rule and Nas and Jay-Z and all them, all of them still around. And they still just laugh at the diss records and all that and say, we made it, we all got money. So, that's the goal. Just be the people around you, let things like that happen, So, gotta be careful.
Do you think he went too far when he started calling himself Nussie Badass and replaced his picture with Boosie's picture on the album cover? Or was that permissible because it was some rap shit and he trying to get on?
I would say it was just working. Like one thing led to the next. It wasn't never personal. It was strategy. It was a wise person trying to take they wiseness and turn into a lane of music. Like, you know, if you been jacking niggas, cause I can't say that he was really jacking niggas, you know. He was really, you know, going with his mood. He was really, you know, doing shit and rubbing it in niggas' face. Like, he was really doing that. Now, was he aiming it in the South direction? No, because deep down he was from the South. So, you know, a lot of things that Nussy did was aimed in the other direction, not the South. But I guess when the music came and he saw that he can, like Tupac. Tupac was really from New York.
Right.
But he said, okay, if I can go to another side and go hard enough and diss this side enough, then I might bubble. Just because I'm the, you know, the bad guy. And just, it was the same formula. That's all, you know, how I see what Nussy did. He just, okay, cool. I'm gonna go over there in Easy Town and I'm gonna build that. And in the same time while I'm building that, I'm gonna have them support me with this music thing. And that's how it went.
Yeah, from my perspective, it almost looked like what he was doing worked. Like he was kicking down the dope. You know what I mean? And when he gets killed, it's like another rapper who could have been something for the city. How did the city of Baton Rouge take his death?
The city, you know, they took it kind of hard. You know, well, you know, they had a lot of people that liked them and loved them, and then they had the ones that felt like that he had it coming to him because of he was rapping about shit he was doing like in the game. And it ain't had, like I say, it ain't had nothing to do with the South or what was going on in the South. He had a lot of shit going on just in the streets in general. So, you know, nigga was feeling like, you know, that something like that would happen anyway because he wasn't ducking that. Like, you know, some of them just, oh well, you know. Yeah. And that's the kind of like how it was. Like once I saw it working for him, you know, because he used to try to keep me in it. Like he was, because he knew my story, you know, so he used to try to say, stay in it, you know. You a part of it now, stay in it. And I'm like, I don't believe it because I ain't getting nothing out of it. So, you know, but so he was like, well, okay, I'll help you. You know, you can write some songs for me and I'll pay you. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, let's do it. But in the process of us doing that, he's still making songs and he's saying certain things that I'm not cool with him saying. And I'm like, you know, bro, I asked you not to do that. And, you know, he gave me that look like, you know, like, bro, like, you know, my bad, but this what I'm doing, you know, this working. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to leave it alone.
What did he say that had you, where you drew the line?
Well, he knew how close that my relationship was with Ivory. Because, like I say, he was right there with us. Coming up, Nussy was right there on 15. We was on 16. He right there on 15. And so he knew how close we was. And I don't know, you know, about what all took place, how they fell out or nothing, because I was always my own man doing my own thing. But I just knew that by me being in hands-on with a lot of the stuff that went on in the area, I knew that personally that he didn't have anything to do with that. But when you listen at his music, he was leaving it questionable. And I was like, you know, I felt like that you know, like I felt like that you don't have to do that. You know, you can leave that alone because we gonna honor each other. You know? Like they should have people doing documentaries honoring him, the people he helped or whatever, but I don't know. You know? But it's just it's unfortunate, bro, you know, because like I said, I knew all these dudes, but I came from Detroit. You know, any time they wanted to just say, "Oh, you from Detroit," they could have, you know. So, but you know, it was just South Side. They knew I was hard headed from the gate. Like I said, I was the leader of the wrong crowd from the gate. So that's how that went.
Just for those who don't know, because we may have some people watching, you know, that may not be as familiar with the Baton Rouge culture. Who was Lil Ivy?
The Ivy, he was from Southside Baton Rouge, and you know, he was a young entrepreneur, somebody who took pride in his neighborhood and his homeboys, and you know, as fast as he figured out how to, you know, get ahead in life, he started helping people. So one thing he wanted to do was get off into the music culture, because like we used to be wanting to be, you know, we used to do little rap songs when we was little, you know, like, well, I'm gonna say like 13 and 11. I was 13, he was 11. We did a little, you know, we was try to do. So, you know, we stayed close the whole way, you know, but just through jail and the streets and ups and downs, like I ended up on this street, he ended up on this street, and you know, he was doing his thing, I was doing my thing, you know. So we wasn't, you know, always around every day like we was when we was little. But and he went on to be more of a more successful in the game, but he didn't want to carry the name of a drug dealer or nothing like that. He wanted to be a good person. So he was trying to get off into the music thing. So he was trying, but in the process, the unfortunate caught up with him before he can actually get into it. But he was definitely gonna get into it because he had a lot to do. If I'm not mistaken, he created TBG, the label. And
That's the Fredo Bang's label.
Right. And well, that's the label Fredo Bang was with in the beginning. TBG, Top Boy Gorillas. Shout out to them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Shout out to Cleasy 5. Cleasy 5 in jail, I think. But I want to say
that's some real history right
that's
there.
That's the CEO.
Like, it's very interesting with Baton Rouge that you see all these young people now coming up, but it's like they didn't just come from nowhere. Right. You know what I mean? Like if you actually do your research and you can see like there was some people who, you know, really put some work in and paved the way.
Right. Right.
Yeah. I knew Boosie named his daughter Iviana. You know what I mean?
Right.
What could it have been about this guy that just made people, you know what I'm saying, have that much respect?
Man, bro. I say, bro, see, me and his relationship was like day one, you know? And so I was so, you know, like I was all in from day one. Like it was Ivory, Bucky, Tavares, to Lawrence. It wasn't just Ivory. It's 4 of them. All of them dead. Rest in peace. And but it was all of them. You know, I was in with all of them. But he was the one that was more of he was more of the guy. You know. And that question you asked, bro, I can't say because, like I say, I would have named. I probably would have did the same thing because, like, when I used to be hungry, bro. And the dude used to sneak me food over the gate, bro. Like, that type of shit, you know, and our relationship developed from there, you know, like when I say like, come on, bro, come over here, our lights off, you know, I'm sleeping at their house, you know what I'm saying? Like that kind of shit. So it was deep from there, you know, like, bro, it was deep from there. When he heard that I was dealing with Boosie, he was, you know, he was happy, he was proud. But once he realized I wasn't getting paid like I was supposed to, he felt some type of way. He was like he was gonna try to make that work. So what he did was somehow him and Boosie got real close real fast because all this took place while I was in jail. So in the process of but see now Ivory josing me the whole way. So I'm knowing every step of the way what's going on now. I know more what's going on now with Trill than I knew at any point because Ivory was dealing with Boosie at this point. So
what is josing?
Like doing time in jail, like just doing it, time passing, like doing a bid instead of just being in jail, you know? So you know, and when somebody jokes you, that mean they sending you pictures and money orders and letters. So, you know, he doing that the whole way. So I'm seeing the progress he making with Ivory. But at the same time, I know the situation, but Ivory waiting on me to come home to be his ghostwriter for his side of the CD that he's gonna make with Boosie.
Right.
So when I come home, that process was being stalled and delayed, and you know that I was uncomfortable about that, and I was like, you know, I knew the situation that was putting Boosie in because he was trying to honor what he was doing because he was making the big moves and he was committed to Trill, and you know this was, you know, it was still, you know, looking. You know, the future was still bright at that point. So, you know, what he was doing was, you know, he was like, I don't know. But I'm like, you know, Ivy telling me like, man, bro, you know, let's do it. So I'm like, okay, cool. And, you know, like I said, I was going to get paid for doing that. So, you know, he was still going to make sure that I got paid, you know what I'm saying? So, but Ivy, you know, and Boosie got Ivory Ray too. He got a son named Ivory Ray. So it ain't just Ivory Honor. And I don't even I don't know, bro. You know, that's why I believe when Boosie say what he say about Ivory, how he feel, that's why I believe him. You know, that's why I'm always loyal to Boosie from our connection with Ivory. This is what Ivory wanted. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's where we'll always be linked. If we never do another song again, we'll always be linked through Ivory, and Ivory gone. So, you know, that's what Ivory wanted.
Man, but before I go where I want to go, I got to ask you this because it crossed my mind. Like, you know, with the younger generation, I saw Tootie Raw, who is Boosie's son, going back and forth with Ivy Jr., you know what I'm saying? And it's like, you know, y'all's dads were so close. You know what I mean? It's not just them. You know what I'm saying? And my thing is, like, why do you think that is with Baton Rouge being so small? It's like, you know, in some way, shape, or form, from what I'm hearing, all the families are dang near connected.
And that's the hardest part. Because that's the part that's off camera. That's the part that don't get seen. It's how those families have to deal with each other and how they feel about each other and how they have to help with each other and cohabitate with each other and live around each other day in and day out. knowing that this situation is so tangled up to where it's nothing but broken homes and this person hoping this person died and this person hoping this happened to this person because of what happened. You know, so it's real tangled up and you know, like it's the whole city, pretty much, like just broken homes.
So in 2010, you could say Baton Rouge took another major loss. Boosie had been arrested, indicted, charged with murder, and it sent shockwaves across America. I remember the Free Boosie campaign on Twitter. You know what I mean? Where everybody's free Boosie, free Boosie,
right.
Free Boosie. But when you look at the tabloids, it didn't look good. You know what I mean? They on death row. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, see, I was
Came
fighting the
out.
case then at the time for a Uzi and some perk. So I really couldn't make too much noise because I know how crooked the DA is, and you know how they would have just tried to handle me in my situation. But I would have been on the front line yelling "Free Boosie, Free Boosie, Free Boosie" too. Yeah. But you know, I had to, you know, had my own situation going on. I ended up doing my little jokes and, you know, came on back.
Yeah. When you heard about it, the news, how did you feel?
Man, I was basically, I used to be at his house every day almost up until that point. And I don't know. I want to say we was bracing for something or something had already came up. Like, see, this how it went. He went to jail supposed to do a year. So it wasn't that bad. Everything was left how it was. The house was still open. People could still go there and record and spend the night, whatever. But then it got tricky. Because as soon as he went in, he went from supposed to do 1 year to doing 2. So then some other shit pop up and went from 2 to 4. And I ain't talking about on the both ends. I'm talking about do. Like he was supposed to do 1 on 2, and then he was supposed to do 2 on 4, and then from there it just got more and more worse. So he was already in there when the cards got worse. So you couldn't feel the effect of seeing him go. It was just like he was doing a little documentary and everything because it was just supposed to be a little light little year. You know, just to get all them guns and weed charges off his back. So, you know, they kind of like played him like, okay, we're going to make this real easy. Then once he got in there, boom, 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 all that other shit came up. So, you know, he was already in there once it got serious. And, you know, that's what made us feel like that it wasn't fair. And, you know, we had to figure out, you know, like where we was going to go from there.
Yeah. How did that affect the label?
I don't know.
You were finding your own situation.
Yeah, and I wasn't with the label no more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gone. I don't know how it affected.
It was later revealed that one of his co-defendants was Marlo Mike. I watched the interview you did, and you actually knew Marlo Mike growing up.
Right.
What kind of guy was he?
Man, look, he was a little brown-skinned guy with good hair that was either born in the struggle or just poverty caught up with him. You know, like I want to say that he was born like right there by Big D. That remember I was telling you about Big D. See, that's how long I've been knowing him because he come off 16th Street off the side by Big D. So he probably was born right there. And his mom named Sita, And you know, she always been in the area, you know, like she been maintaining and trying, you know what I'm saying? And he got a few sisters and he got a brother. And you know, they were just part of the struggle. They just fitted in so well, you know what I'm saying? But like Marlo was like one of the ones that wanted to, he just didn't want to settle for that. Like he was almost like me, but it was just different times and different generations, because my badness wasn't that bad, but it was like to combat the struggle, to combat people trying to tease you and talk about you and say this and say that. You know, when my era, it was just punch you in your shit, something like that, you know, press you, you know, make you pay draft, something like that. But his era, it was like, shit, I'm gonna just gonna eliminate you. You know, I'm gonna get the juice, you know, and then like, he 1 minute, like you may heard somebody say, okay, well, there go Dirty Mike. There go Dirty Mike. There go Dirty Dare, you know? And then I guess he was like, nah, you ain't gonna call me that shit no more. Next nigga called me, I'm gonna put that pistol on him. And then, you know, from that, it was like, shit, if my juice can get me to the White House, it get me to the White House. And you know, like shit, next thing I know, I started seeing him. He was in traffic, he was moving around, he was looking good. He still had like his little good hair, you know. And I was proud of him. So when I ran across him, you know, and I started seeing him by Boo House, I was just proud of him. And you know, I just salute him, you know, cause I wasn't in nobody's business. I ain't want to know nothing. If it ain't come to me, I ain't want to know, because I wanted to be my own man and move how I wanted to move. You know what I'm saying?
When the news came out that Marlo Mike was set to testify, and you knowing him, seeing him grow up, you know what I'm saying, seeing him come from nothing to something, but then hearing that, you know, what crossed your mind? What thoughts?
I want to say, I can't really recall how that part went, but I just know that one of my other partners had got murdered, and Marlo Mike was on the scene, and the police was like, they couldn't take it no more, because they didn't know if this young guy was that advanced to where like he was murdering shit while they was watching him, you know? So they went on and picked him up. But when they picked him up, they told him, my partner Tyree Gangsta Reese, rest in peace, when he got killed, they picked Marlo up that same night. Just because that's where Marlo's family was located at. And that's the people he was calling and he was talking to. So just so happened, he came over there and my partner got killed. So they went on and picked him up, and they said, okay, so we know you've been talking to your family. You know, and in the process, he just, he a young dude, he just talking to his family. But he must have been over talking. So that meant his family knew. So they said, well, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna lock them up. We're gonna lock your mom up. We're gonna lock your sister up. We're gonna lock everybody up who you was talking to. So at that point, that's the advantage they had over him the whole time.
That's dirty.
Right.
Yeah, wow.
To say that's basically all you got. Everything else is just smoke and mirrors, because how it came, how you got in the position you in. You wouldn't have been in none of these positions if you wasn't Marlo Mike. But when you was just Dirty Mike, you still had those people. So you still confined him, because he had me the way to could go. I was, his big homie either way the cut go. You know, but it was just the thing that when he was doing what he was doing, I was more trying to tell him not to do it, you know, try to chill. But I didn't have no alternative for him. You know, they had started looking at me like, nigga, you just in the way because you got all this going on, but you ain't got shit. You know, they like, okay, like, Fat jumped in and passed you up, and he in the same situation you in, like, cause all us in the same hood. So I'm like, well, you know what? Y'all right, bro, y'all right. I ain't even gonna argue with y'all. I'm gonna stay out y'all way. You know what I'm saying? So that's how that went.
When Marlo Mike actually took the stand and he testified and he vindicated Boosie of what he initially, you know, said that he did, was that like a relief kind of to the streets, I guess? Like, does that save him from what he initially did?
Well, I'm not gonna say nothing saves you, you know, when you tell on somebody. But I will say this though, you know, when you're a little naive kid, it's not even that serious. The seriousness of the situation to a naive kid is his family. Because that's all he know at that point. That's the only thing that he understands at this point. So you don't even have to say nothing. You done already said it. Being naive. You're not knowing that these people is bugging your people's phone. So you done already said whatever you needed to say. Then they just knew they couldn't get you for it. So they said, well, we'll get your people. We'll lock them up. Unless you say it again. You done already said it. Or just agree to saying it. And we're going to let your people stay up free. Okay, all right, bet. You right. So when trial time comes, nah, I ain't say that. Yeah, my people been free long enough to get their situation together if they want to fuck with them now. It's unjust now, so nah, I ain't say that. Nah, that's some bullshit. And that's how Boosie came home. That's how he got free, because the system tried to finesse a young kid into putting somebody like Boosie away for life.
He was 16, 17.
Right, but I mean, he probably was younger than that when it all started, though. You know, like when the Marlo name started, he probably was younger than that. He probably was younger than that.
There was a song, say big head, I gotta hit you right back. I got
right
in my cell tap. My shit tap. Was he talking about the case, or was he just talking? That ducked off. Like, cause Boosie did in that song, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Say big head, I got, like, they was talking about my phone.
But that's in say round, can I hit you right back?
Yeah, that's what that is. That say round, can I hit you right back? Hot right now, Fizz got my phone tapped. Were they talking about when that case went on, or that was just a song?
Yeah, that was just some creativity from Mouse.
Oh, okay.
But I gotta give all credit to that to Mouse.
Salute to Mouse too.
Yeah, Mouse whipped that up like that for us.
Right.
Mouse was like, y'all all should be able to come in common with this.
Right.
You know, it's like we trying to come up with stuff that's just not all, you know, in one perspective. It's like we got a full circle. So Mouse was full circle. Yeah. And like when I heard it, I was like, wow, and just went straight in.
Salute to super producer.
Right.
The news came out that Lil Fat was killed. Now, from my understanding, he is who kind of got you to Trill to take the whole rap thing a little more serious at that point in your career.
Right.
When you got the news, man, how did that hit you?
Well, it hit me harder personally than musically. Because, you know, like, he was one of the ones that was rooting for me. When they was rooting for him, he was rooting for me. So, you know, that's was like a promise he made to me. You know, like he was like, bruh, like, unfortunately I couldn't hang in there because he wasn't in the position to call no shots, but you know, like he was one of the ones that really wanted me to be a part of it and wanted me to be successful and help our community because we had the same community. And like, yeah, like the top uptown. And his
And
like,
Uptown is the top of the South.
yeah.
Okay.
Like it's really the top of the top. It's not really the whole top, it's just top of the top. And you know, it's like from Convention Street to, I want to say, when you get past to what that is, Thomas Delpit. Nah, it's like Convention Street till you get by Brooks Pool. Whatever street that is by Brooks Pool. I know you don't know where that's at, but I'm kind of lost. I don't want to call the wrong street, but that's like it's like the top of the top, you know. So it's like uptown, and it's because downtown is right as soon as you cross the bridge. And it's like that in New Orleans. As soon as you cross the bridge, it's uptown, and you cross the bridge, it's downtown. So I was like, well, okay, if with this downtown and there go the bridge, then we uptown right here because the bridge was right there. Right. And we started it off like on Convention Street. And we just bled it back into 16, 17 Bright Street and all those streets.
Right. But y'all were from the same hood.
Right. And we, like, our families were so close, and you know, everybody was hurt. And I was more so hurt because that my situation, like I was already out the equation. And now I knew that his situation in our hood was still the same. You know, I was like, damn. Like, if he, you know, like sometime, you know, you gotta just fall back and let your little homie, you know, blow up and be, you know, the big person, and they come back and get you. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, hey, you know, I'm right here. So, like, man, it was double hurt. It was personal hurt and Trill hurt. It was double hurt.
The people who committed the murder were all convicted, got almost 30 years. I think one got 28, one got 29, and one got 30. Does that bring some kind of closure to the situation?
Nah, not. I mean, jail is somebody else's way of resolving something. Somebody else's way of getting even. That's not the particular way to that person or to the one that's hurt, how they would want to work it out. So you would never know. But I think that his family should have got compensated. That's what I think. I think that no matter who you are in life, if you're successful and you know that you in a situation like that to where that falls on you, I think someone's family should get compensated. Right. And if somebody had trackers on him, and we know trackers was made by a company, no matter how somebody mishandled him, his family should get compensated for that alone. Even if it's the car company. you know, that for the car he was in. Yeah, his family should get compensated for that because they took away their help.
Right.
You know? So, and it was sad, it was tragic when his grandmama passed because, like, I know what he would have did for his people, you know? But you got to get to a certain level before you can actually do it, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Shit show. You know, when I look at you, you know what I mean? I think bigger than Baton Rouge legend. You know what I'm saying? Like you, especially the way that you've been branding yourself now. You know what I mean? It's starting to become like you one of those voices out of Louisiana.
Right.
You know what I mean? And eventually, hopefully after this interview, if not already, you know what I mean? People will see you like that.
That's
you know what
up.
I mean?
That's what's up.
And when there's news out of Louisiana, you're somebody who people should look to for the real. Cause
Right.
I ain't seen nothing less. It's amazing. You know what I mean? To from the interviewer's perspective, like, you know, I try to remain neutral in whatever anybody's opinion is, cause it's their opinion.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And they're entitled to their opinion, cause you know you got your experience, I got my experience, but you know you the one in the seat. And so for me to hear some of your responses is not only educational, but is also from a place of relatability. I think that most, when they see this, like they'll be able to embrace it.
Right.
My question to you is this. I saw Turk recently go viral for another Louisiana musical speaker or figure that you know, he speaks.
Right.
And he basically said to Boosie to chill out. You know what I'm saying? He's speaking too much, he's going too hard. I know things about you, you shouldn't be doing all of this, after Boosie did the song with Kodak Black. Well, after Boosie called out Kodak Black for doing the song with 6ix9ine. How did you feel when you seen Turk speak out?
Well, I feel like when Boosie spoke out and he got the attention that he got for speaking out, Turk say, well, if I speak out about him, I'm gonna get some attention. So it's basically about, you know, the internet pushing the narratives on people speaking out. So, you know, it all, back at the end of the day, hopefully, when they see each other, what up, boom, 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 and that be that. And it just be the people that's watching the internet, those the ones that's lied to and confused and feelings hurt and sad and emotionally distraught because they go on emotional roller coasters from what people say on the internet. But, you know, it done got to the point now where sometimes people say stuff, and, you know, just because people gonna take it and turn it and twist it. So, you know, Boosie and Turk ain't tripping on that. You know, like, it's just all about saying something. Okay, I'm gonna say something about this. Okay, if all y'all gonna look at me when I say something about this, if I can put a song out and y'all don't say this, I gotta come back and say something just to see if all y'all still looking. So once I know all y'all still looking, cool. So, you know, shout out to Boo and shout out to Turk. You feel me? It's like, hey, like when somebody say, when Boo say, somebody said, who is Turk, laughing and this and that. But guess what? It was all about Turk. Turk. Boosie say, Turk. On the thing, he say, who is Turk? Turk spoke. Turk. I bet they know who Turk is now.
Right.
So
almost
hopefully.
like alley hoop in the
Right.
So would you say Turk is doing like the same thing that Terrence Gangsta Williams is doing? Like just, you know, responding? You know what I'm saying? That's what it's like. If something is hot, you'll see Giggity speak. on it.
Man, Turk might have supposed to have more play than he got. He might supposed to have more money, more recognition, more, accolades, more, props, more open up the door, more salutes, because of what he was a part of. But the thing is, when you disassociate yourself from it, it's up to those people to accept you back how you won't, and they'll never will, because of, you're dishonoring, and you have to understand that. Like, I'm fine with that. I understand that by me leaving Trill, it might always have a problem because I left, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, well, that's why I don't mind telling nobody, well, I left because I needed money and I needed it then, and I don't know if I deserved it or not. But I just, I just know I needed it. I don't know if I earned it or not, but I know I needed it. And I know when the nigga said, one of us eat, all of us eat, and I saw some eating going on, oh, hell no, man, I'm out of here. You know what I'm saying? But just as like how that went, that just, so it ain't broke, because that's all it take to fix it. I would have walked right back in. Just how I walked out, I'd have walked right back in. If I'd have got that call ever, we just, man, look, come get this, or we got this for you, or we finna put this in your account, or what's your cash at, any of that, I'd have walked right back in, no problem. Because like I say, it had to become a point to where it was about business and not personal. Because personal, we was family. And, like, I didn't understand the no money situation. I'm looking at it like, if a nigga got $20 and he go buy some chicken, everybody in the room gonna get some. Even if you don't get 2 pieces, some niggas might get 1, some niggas might get 2, some nigga might don't get no biscuit. But everybody gonna get some chicken, and nigga ain't had but $20. But we them same niggas. You feel what I'm saying? I'm like, we the same niggas when niggas saying, man, I ain't got but $20, I ain't got but this and that. It busts down and like that. So I'm looking at the bigger picture like that. I'm looking at it like, well, okay, if I was one of those niggas that was entitled to some of that chicken, and all you had was $20 and you spent it on a box of chicken for us to eat, I'm the same nigga.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? That's how I looked at it, and I could have been looking at it wrong.
Understood.
This is my last question right here. Being from Texas and covering Houston artists, I see a lot of unity amongst the top of the top. What do I mean by that? With the exception of, people may see the Zero and Trey situation and be like, oh, well, Houston ain't as unified as you think, but
right.
That was family business. And I didn't understand that at first. You know what I'm saying? When people, that's family business, don't speak on family business. And I would get that a lot. But as I'm out there more and more, I'm noticing that was actually family business to people, just like, what I'm saying, as we spoke on history earlier, family stuff. But industry-wise, the city get along.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're going to see Lil Kiki, Slim Thug. I was just at an event, Big Pokey, RIP, he just passed, but he was there. You know what I'm saying? Propane, he was there. You know what I mean? You go to Trey Day.
And then
They Prince pulling up.
It's like this here, bro. Like, you can go back to that incident with those guys, bro. Like, they was able to move past that. Like, they didn't stomp his head in the ground. They ain't, or nothing like that. And he didn't take it like they did, like, they was able to move past that.
Yeah, I was even told there was phone calls made. They were able to talk. You know what I'm saying?
You know, like that be the whole thing. That's how they get in that position like that. Being able to move past that, see past that, like understand that sometimes that the adrenaline and the record labels and the fans and all that, or sometimes it'll push you, but just don't let it push you too far. And you know, they do a good job of that. Like they you know, like sometimes, bro, Houston do such a good job of that. You'll think that it ain't no south side, west side, east side, north side, or none of that. You'll just think it's just one big Houston, bro. Like, because they don't even really be even set claiming like that, bro. Like, you hear more about Southwest and all that, about moving around, than you hear through the music.
Right.
You know, they just coming down. They just coming down.
Right. Showing out and looking live and representing the city.
And they leaving a lot of money on the table, because what they supposed to be doing, I ain't gonna tell them what they supposed to be doing. I'm gonna just give somebody some game, and hopefully they see this and they shoot me something and shoot you something. Just think when they start chopping and screwing the internet. Just think all those viral videos chopped and screwed, man.
Look out, Michael Watts. You see this?
Man. Yeah. That make them longer.
Right.
You know, running them back to them. This viral video, chopped and screwed. Just because the impact of chopped and screwed, what it did to the music, had people actually listening to it. Chop, 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 chop. And you was like, damn, that's how it's supposed to go? And like, yeah, that's chopping and screwing. Right. So then, you know, it caught on. And then I think the guy who started it, something happened to him or something. I don't know, but I know, like, yeah, it stopped. You know, they didn't want to steal his thing and keep going. But now the game done changed. All those songs you done chopped and screwed, they ain't on the internet. So it's like, well, I'm going to chop and screw the internet. All those viral videos, chopped and screwed. Take it like that. And they going to look at it.
$1 million market.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my point in saying all of that is when you look at Baton Rouge, you know, y'all have y'all's own Kikis. Y'all have y'all's own Paul Wall. Y'all have y'all's own Slim Thugs. You know what I mean? Y'all have y'all own legends.
Right.
When you look at even right now, like right now,
right.
You got a Boosie, Young Boy, Kevin Gates, Fredo, even the older legends, because the people I'm naming, like the Kikis, those are our older legends. You know, we got Beat King, Sauce Walker, you know, I can go for days, Maxwell Cream, so on and so forth. But you got the Fox Amelias, you got the Big Heads, you know what I mean? We don't see y'all together though. And I'm wondering, why is that?
I guess I'm going to say my opinion is because the blame game. Niggas would rather blame each other because some niggas go for the banana in the tailpipe, some niggas don't. So niggas just blame each other. He mad at him because he ain't getting no money. He mad because he getting money. He mad, so nigga just blame each other. Instead of just help each other, nigga just blame each other. I don't know, because like I see it, bro. Like, shit, if from number one, if Baton Rouge come together, then everybody will know how good I am, because I'll definitely be a part of it. And I might be too good. I might have been too good for too long. Because I thought by now somebody will come in and just, you know, try to help or something, you know. But I guess say, man, this nigga still good, man. Like, that's why I told nigga pay me to quit rapping, man. Nigga don't gotta hate. Nigga just pay me to quit rapping. But I'm gonna pay you not to rap no more. I gotta take it. If I ain't getting paid for rapping, I take pay for not rapping. I got to take it, man. I got family, I got to take it, bro. So if a nigga don't want to help me get in it, help me get out it. Yeah. Help me get out it, man.
Yo,
Give me a job in another state at a weed dispensary pharmacy where it's legal. I'm gonna go move there. And I'm just gonna go work and just be low key and just, you know, whatever I got going on the internet, that's that. But I mean, hey, bro, like, my heart, bro, my heart is with helping people, bro. You know what I'm saying? My heart is trying to get people to understand that life ain't easy and sometimes they're gonna go through some hard things, and you know, to not give up, and you know, don't let things that you do or you have to do to make it, you know, judge you or categorize who you are. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, you don't start to your clock don't really start till you start to living. You know what I'm saying? Because you born to die. So once you born, you just born. You know, you don't know nothing or nothing. You have to grow and learn, and you know, everybody don't get it at the same rate or at the same pace. So some take a little longer, but then once you grow and you get older, then you realize and you can function in life, and some don't, some can't. Some move slower. So, you know, we gotta adjust and understand. Like I'm Big Head the Dome Doctor, you know, like I get it out the mud, I come from the mud, and you know, if you real, we equal. You know, that I make it real simple for you. If you real, we equal. I don't care what I got, what I don't got, what you don't got. If you real, I'm real, we equal.
Why did you and Fox do this song to Charleston White?
Well, Charleston White slipped up, and I want to say I pressured him into calling me out because I was already like after him from how he was on Boosie, because I was feeling like that he don't understand, like we was discussing earlier, about how things he say affect families that's around each other. Like when he might say something about Boosie or Marlo or something about this happened and that happened, these people, these families that's still right around each other, you opening these wounds up over and over and over. They trying to let it go. They trying to let it subside. They ain't got no money out it. They ain't got no family member out it. They ain't got nothing out it. Only thing they got is pain and bitterness. So they trying to let that subside. But you got this guy here wanting to keep popping up and saying this and saying that. So I say, you know what? You know, since I know that affect me and my hood personally, let me go at this dude. And he lay around there and he said that after he boxed Tootie Raw, he gonna call me out. I guess he thought I was, you know, just a little rap or something, I don't know. But then I guess he went and did his homework, because he said something about dude can't rap, but he said Fox. But I was like, you said me in the same sentence. I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna show you I can rap. So, you know, I was like, let's get him, Fox. So, you know, I was like, well, this is what I'm gonna do, Fox. Since I know you real busy, you got a lot going on, I'm gonna get in the lab, I'm gonna hook it up. I hit AJ up, I say, let's do it. AJ say, let's get it. So boom, we whipped the song up. We whipped it up. I ain't gonna lie, we whipped it up and we sent it to him. But by the time, you know, like he got it, and you know, I don't know what him and Charleston White had and communicated up on or what they was talking about. I was like, but fuck that. He said you can't rap. Fuck talking. Fuck memes or whatever them is. Show him. Get him. So he was like, okay, I'm going to get him. So then the next day came. I couldn't wait, so I got him. I just got the hit him up beat and went in on him. Boom. And then when I did that, and I was like, well, okay, that was too easy. So then I did the good old boy, there go Charleston, and did a little dance song. So hopefully, you know, that one pop off and they start doing it in the clubs where that type of music get played at. And I perform it. Yeah, definitely.
And Big Head the Dome Doctor.
Yes, unfortunately, you know, that's what it come to with me, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, doing, you know, entertaining this clown, but you know, this the internet, bro. Like I rather spar with somebody on the internet than spar with one of these little dudes out here in Baton Rouge any day, because I'm already knowing I'm gonna have to lay them down or they gonna lay me down. But this clown Charleston, he ain't about none of that, man. His guns just for his at home in his closet, bro, so he can have sex with them. But he ain't about none of that. So, you know, hey, if he gonna have to apologize to me, he gonna have to keep my name out his mouth, he gonna have to keep my neighborhood out his mouth, and he might have to keep Boosie's name out his mouth. I don't know if that's asking for too much, but I could apply some pressure. And I got some more songs and some more dissing, and I can do this forever. So he just better know. So first thing he better do is apologize to me, because he called my name. And I appreciate it. Like you say, I take it as a opportunity. You feel what I'm saying? So that's all you is to me, Charleston White. Opportunity.
Have you ever heard of OG Percy?
Yeah, I heard of him because a couple guys, I want to say my partner down south Drip Talk was one of his partners. And he told me about him, but that's basically it. I never heard about him before the internet. Nah.
Yeah, well, on the internet, you just remind me of him. Y'all have a kind of similar, you know what I'm saying? It's a compliment, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, I got a brother named Percy, so I got my own OG Percy. You know, I got a brother named Percy.
Salute.
Yeah, shout out to OG Percy, man. Keep doing what you're doing. And shout out to my dude Drip Talk who put me up on OG Percy. But, you know, everybody got their own principles and morals. But like I say, if he real, we equal. That go for anybody. That go for OG Percy too. We real, we equal, man. Yeah. I ain't tripping on nobody from nowhere. You know, I don't. When I go to sleep, bro, I try to go to sleep at peace, in a peaceful time, and wake up at peace. So I don't go to sleep with hate and all that on. I love everybody when I wake up. Now, when I go to sleep, it's different. But when I wake up, I give them all a chance all over again, man. So, you know, shout out to the rap game, and to the lames and the goofies, and you know, everybody that's getting some type of traction or motion off it. But I think people need to stop taking rap and trying to make it reality, because it's just rap. Let niggas get away with rapping, you know? Now we gotta get persecuted for everything we say, or we can't say this or we can't say that. That's not rapping. Rapping, you can get creative, you know? Like you can make up a story. It's if it sound good. Now, if it don't sound good, you know, I understand you having to say this and say that and say that, because, you know, now people having to bag that shit up. You can't just talk it now. You got to bag it up. And then, like, when I rap how I want to rap, they saying, well, Big Head, I thought you was about this and then this. I'm like, bro, like, if I make a rap and it's about this, and then somebody pay me for that, and I make a rap about this, and they don't even listen to that, but I got bills and I got children, what you think I'm gonna do, man? It's just rap to me. When they tell me about, man, I thought, man, listen, bro, in my heart is good, bro. You know, I made it out the game. I made it out the streets. I made it through jail, all that. So I don't gotta go back down that road. So I can talk about that. You know, I can brag about that. I can say how real I am, because I'm past that. I can't go fake tomorrow. It's impossible. I ain't even living like that no more. So, you know, that's why I'm mad with it, man. So, you know, like, just let the rappers rap, man. Let them rap, regardless of what they say. If it sound good, let them rap, because they let by what they want to let by. If you could say, you know, your booty hole brown, a nigga should be able to say what he want to say. You know, like, but they'll let that go down. They'll let the gay rappers say gay shit, but soon as you say something about it, then they got a problem with you. You know, they'll let your little daughter flash her little body forever, but keep R. Kelly in jail forever. You know, like, bro, you can't get lost in it, bro. You can't get lost in it because it ain't for us, but we out here. So, you know, I'm a salute, bro, and I appreciate you coming through. You know what I'm saying? Chopping it up. This your boy, Big Head, the Dome Doctor, man. So, you know, I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. You know, I'm out there, man. Out the mud entertainment, man. So, you know, reach out. You want work? You need some hits? You need some beats? I got AJ on the track. He gonna line you up real good. You need some production. You need some engineering. I got Southside Black. You heard me? You need some of that new auto-tune mixing and mastering. I got Quante Zan out there in Atlanta, bro. Like, man, look. Let's work, man. Like, this your boy, Big Head, the Dome Doctor, 2023, 2024. Shit, I'm ready to go, man. What's up?
Hey, RealToon, it's some real money in the room.